sutang ekang samayang bhagava Savantiyang viharati jetavane anatha pindikansa arame Atako anyatara devata abhinkantaya rantiya abhinkantavanna Kevalakampang jetavanang obasenva Yena bhagavate nupasankami Upasankaminva bhagavantang abhivadenva Ekamantang antasi Ekamantang titakosa devata Bhagavantang gataya anjabasi Bahudeva manunsaca mangalani acintayung Akangkamana sontanang brohi mangalamuntamang Asevanaca balanang panditanang ca sevana Puja ca pujaniyanang etang mangalamuntamang Patirupadesavasoca pumbheca kata punyata Anta samma panidica etang mangalamuntamang Bahu sancanca simpanca vinayoca susinkito Subhasita jaya vaca etang mangalamuntamang Mata pitu upantanang puntadaran sesanggaho Anakula kamanta etang mangalamuntamang Dananca dhammacariyaca nyatakananca sanggaho Anavanjani kammani etang mangalamuntamang Arati virati papa manjapanaca sanyamo Ampamadoca dhammesu etang mangalamuntamang Garavoca nivatoca santuntica katang yuta Halena dhamma savanang etang mangalamuntamang Kantica sovacansata samanananca dansanang Kalena dhamma sakanca etang mangalamuntamang Tapoca brahmacariyanca ariya sancana dansanang Nibbana sancikiriyaca etang mangalamuntamang Puntang seloka dhammi Cintang yansana kampati Asokang virajang kemang Etang mangalamuntamang Eta disani kanvana සම්බන්තමපරාජිතා සම්බන්ත සොන්තිං ගච්ඡන්තිතං තේසං මංගල මුන්තමන්ති ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං කරණීයමන්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අභිසමිච්ඡ සක්ඛෝජුච සුජුච සුවචෝචං සමුදු අනතිමානි සන්තුන්සකෝච සුභරෝච අම්පකින්චෝච සල්ලහුකවුන්ති සන්තින්ද්‍රියෝච නිපකෝච අම්පගම්බෝ කුලේසු අනුනුගින්දෝ නච කුන්දං සමාචරේකින්චි යේන විඤ්ඤූ පරේ උපවදෙය්‍යං සුඛිනෝ වාකේමිනෝ හන්තු සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා ඒකේචිපාන භූතන්ති තසවාතාවරාවා අනවසේසා දීඝාවායේ මහන්තාවා මංජිමාරංසකානුකතුලා දිත්ථාවායේව අන්දින්තා යේච දුරේ වසන්ති අවිදුරේ භූතාවා සම්භවේසීවා සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා නපරෝ පරං නිකුම්බේත ඥාති මඤ්ඤේත කන්ත චිනං කංචි ව්‍යාරෝසනා පටික සංඥා ඥාඤ්ඤ මඤ්ඤංස දුක්ඛ මිච්ඡේය මාතා යතානියං පුන්තං ආයුසා ඒක පුන්ත මනුරංකේ ඒවම්පි සම්බභූතේසු මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ මෙන්තංච සම්බලෝකස්මින් මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ උන්දං අදෝච තිරියංච අසංභාදං අවේරං අසපත්තං තින්ඨං චරං නිසින්නෝවා සයානෝවා යාවතංස විගතමින්දෝ ඊතං සතින් අදින්ඨේය බ්‍රහ්මමේතං විහාරං ඉදමාහෝ දින්ඨින්ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දන්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනය්‍යගේදං නහි ජාතු ගම්බසේයං පුනරේති. එවං මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා සාවන්තියං විහෙරති 제තවනේ අනාථ පින්ඩිකංස ආරාමේ අතකෝ අඤ්ඤතරා දේවතා අබින්කන්තාය රන්තියා අබින්කන්තවන්නා කේවල කම්පං 제තවනං ඕබාසෙන්වා යේන භගවාතේනුපසංකමී උපසංකමින්වා භගවන්තං අභිවාදෙන්වා ඒකමන්තං අන්තාසී ඒකමන්තං තිතාකෝසා දේවතා භගවන්තං ගාතාය අංජබාසී බහුදේවා මනුන්සාච මංගලානි අචින්තයොං ආකංකමානා සොන්තානං බ්‍රෝහි මංගල මුන්තමං අසේවනා.
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. A very good morning to all of you. I'm very pleased and unexpected. Many of you have already logged in early in the morning, as early as 9:15 a.m. That was wonderful. Thumbs up to all of you. Send all the love and send all the wishes to everyone this morning. Why we should have a very bright morning? Because the sky is bright. Blue skies, strong sunshine. Well, brothers and sisters, during this online Buddha Puja service, just remember to have a calm mind. To join us with the Puja chanting, listen to the Dharma talk till the dedications of the merits. Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Welcome to Subang Jaya Buddhist Association 77 online Sunday Buddha Puja service. It has been a great year. That was last year. We had our puja service every weekend. Then, and we are having a lot of brothers and sisters who are watching from near and far. That was wonderful. Remember to share with your children, your relatives, and friends. Either you share the link or you put on to mirror onto your smart TV or put on to your external speaker. Let others hear what is going on. Well, let us begin. I shall hand over to the puja leader, Sister Ansu. Over to you, Sister Anne.
Thank you, Brother Chuan. Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Namo Buddhaya. Let us begin with our Sunday Buddha Puja by making offerings to the Buddha. May we invite Brother Jim to make the offerings to the Buddha. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, if you have prepared the offerings at home, you may light your candles or oil lamps and make the other offerings as well. For the other devotees, let us place our palms together in Anjali position and contemplate mindfully. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang pujeni, Dhammang pujeni, Sanghang pujeni. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us together take refuge in the Triple Gem and observe the 5 precepts. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kame sumiccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vichacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manusana buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko oppanayiko pacchatthang veditabbu pinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani attapurisa pukkala Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyaketang lokasati Vandami cettiyang sabbang sabbatane supatititang Saririkadatu mahabodhi Buddharupang sakalang sada Yassa mule nisinova sabbari vijayang aka Patto sabbanyutang sattha Vande tang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi lokanattena pujita Ahampite namassami bodhiraja namattute Ganasarappaditena dipena tamadansina Tilokadipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang Ganda sambara yuttena dupenahang sugandina Pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana muttamang Vannaganda gunopetang etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena Punyena mittena chahotu mokang Kapang milayati yatha idang me kayutattayati vinasabhavang. Adivasettu no bante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu muttamang. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame bante buripanya tathagata. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame dhamma santittika akalika. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Brothers and sisters of Dharma, well, later on during the Dharma sharing, if you have any questions, please type your questions in the comments box. To those of you who do not know our speaker, let me inform you about this speaker. He has started learning of Buddhism when he attended the Sunday Dharma school at Subanjaya Buddhist Association, and the seeds of Buddhism was planted then. The principal of the Dharma school then was the late Mrs. Wang. Well, I can say that the speaker is a fine example of a well-germinated, a selfless volunteer in many aspects on the propagation of Buddhism. The speaker is the head of the program for advancement in Dharma leadership. We call it the panel under the Center of Research and Dharma Leadership Advancement. Or in short, we call it the CRADA, which is an initiative of the Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia. Well, the speaker has spoken on several titles previously, but again, I must remind all of you is do get ready a pencil and a notebook where later you may need to reflect on what you have learned, and maybe you can start to think what you can practice. Let us welcome Didi Niwan to this morning's Dharma sharing. Hello, Didi Niwan, Namo Buddhaya, and very good morning to you. How are you today?
Good morning, Didi Chuan. I'm good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, actually, I like to your presence in this morning. It was a fine day. Just that I have this comments about today's environment. We are so lucky to have so many of this advanced technology. Example are smartphones with many apps inside our phone to do so many things. Looking for information, storage of information, engaging with customers and friends and relatives, attending meetings. So many things that we are doing today. Wow. But I many realize that we do not have much time. We are so busy every day, every hour. We have so much to do within a short span of time. What's your opinion in this comment? Over to you, Diniwan.
I agree totally. I agree entirely. We are very busy people, and we are even more busy now than more than ever. And sometimes the busyness tends to get us not very far. So later I will share with you why I say so. But definitely, we are definitely more busy than usual. Also, we have more distractions. I do believe the children these days also, they have a lot of distractions, and we can safely say that today we have more things to do, and at the same time more entertainment as well. The options are endless, and we are always switched on 24 hours. So yes, it's a definitely, it's a blessing to have everything in our lap. At the same time, it is also a very, very challenging thing for us to handle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know.
agree.
Well, I agree that there's so many things in the social media, online internet. We have entertainment, we have shows, information, and some of it that they able to draw us away from what we are supposed to do. Some catchy titles and photographs, and we are caught into it. Wow, today is 16th of January 2022, and didn't even you're gonna speak on do less, achieve more. Wow, I would say it's very apt in for today's all of us in this today's environment. So, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, again this morning we are going to have an interesting and practical Dharma talk. I shall hand over to Didin Evan. Over to you, Didin Evan.
Thank you, Didi Chuan. So I need the slides are on. So okay. So once again, let me just once again I thank everybody for being here this morning. Thank you, Didi Chuan and the team for organizing yet another online Dharma sharing via Facebook Live. I am grateful for the opportunity again given, especially in the beginning of the year where things are moving into the new term, 2022. And like I said before many times, SJBA has always been my home ground and has always been a very special organization to me. I have been with SJBA since the very beginning. I'll tell more about that later. But before I begin, I'd like to invite you to also join me in pay homage to the Buddha, our ultimate spiritual guide and refuge, as to have as a sign of gratitude to him for the Dharma that he has given to us, this precious teaching that he has given to us. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay. The recent events has, as you know, those of you who are in SGBA, the late Mrs. Wang passed away just recently after battling cancer for a good number of years. And I'd like to say one thing. I came into Subanjaya Buddhist Association when I was a teenager. That was in the late 80s. And I was just maybe about 14, maybe 13, 14 years old at that point. And I got to know that there was a Buddhist center. And it was in this small semi-detached house in SS14. And I, not knowing what to expect, I just followed my friend to go and attended one or two sessions. And immediately they said, "How are you, young man?" On that time, young boy. And he says, "Okay, you are. Oh, okay. Then you go to the Dharma school." So I just went to the upstairs and I joined the Dharma school. And I don't remember actually how many teachers were there, but I did remember that, and I do know that Mrs. Wang was instrumental at that point as the principal of the school to get the thing started. And and she was actually the one that made sure that we had our weekly Dharma discussion and also Dharma learning sessions. So I must say that itself gave me an opportunity to learn about Buddhism. Had it not been for that opportunity, I would not be knowing about Buddhism at all. After all, Subanjaya, we didn't have any Buddhist temples. That was the very first. We didn't have a Buddhist center. That was the very first. We didn't have a Dharma school. That was the only way we can access Dharma. So I didn't have the opportunity to go to Brickfields or even the bigger centers that the more well-known centers in the past. But thanks to the efforts of, SJBA, particularly Mrs. Wang, I had the opportunity and I was touched by the Dharma because of that. So I think I'd like to extend my gratitude once again to Mrs. Wang, my senior most, my 前辈, yeah, my elder in the Dharma, and she has always been to me a true educator, a true a person who dedicated her life to education, not just in the Dharma but also in the schools, and because firm by what she believed, her values are very true. She has exhibited leadership by being firm on her stand on matters. And of course, because of that, the impact that she had over the last 30 years or so is that today we have a very well-established Dharma school in Subanjaya Buddhist Association. And I hope that this legacy will continue in a new form. But let us all remember her. I'd like to maybe ask you to take a minute of silence just to remember Mrs. Wang. Join me in the minute of silence. Okay. All right. So we are here once again for a Dharma learning opportunity and Dharma engagement. I always like to remind again everybody that when we come together for sessions like this, I think we need to be very clear that we are not here just to sit down and listen to a Dharma talk. I think if you want to benefit the most from the Dharma is when we are fully engaged with the learning opportunity. And I invite all of you here who are watching on Facebook Live. I can't see who you are except for those who commented. I can see your names. I invite you to be part of the discussion. Maybe comment, actively comment if you have anything to say, anything to add on, anything to, and more important is your questions. We hope that we can make this interactive, even though I don't see you, but we can still do the interaction via social media, and let's engage with each other as friends together in this learning opportunity. So to start the new year, I thought this would be appropriate for me to share something that is close to my heart. It's about how we can achieve more by doing less. And this looks like an oxymoron, or it looks like something that is very contradicting. How can we get more by doing less? But in reality, actually, doing more doesn't mean we achieve more. And that's something we have to be very clear. Doing more doesn't mean we achieve more. But does doing less means achieving less? I don't know. Let's see. Let's explore this topic. But the main crux of the main topic, what I want to impress on everyone is how can we harness the energy of Dharma in daily life? I want to focus this back on Dharma practice. Spiritual life is all about practicing. Spiritual life is about doing the best, being the best. But that being the best and doing the best doesn't mean we do a lot of things. We need to do what is essential in order to harness what is the energy of Dharma so that it brings most benefit to ourselves and to the people around us. So, but Have you felt like this? If you felt like this, so you might want to, so it says sometimes, in one whole day and then one whole week, after 1 or 2 weeks, into the day, and I mean into the month, you felt that, wow, I am just totally frustrated. I'm drained. I don't know what to do. My life is in shambles. I can't concentrate. I have so many things on my mind, and this is what has happened to me in the last few weeks. In fact, I've been very, very busy. There was work to do, there was projects to do, and at the same time, I was involved in the cradle and many things as well. Challenges at home with the family, with my children, with my wife, and so when you put everything together, actually, it can be very overwhelming. And I must tell you, I was overwhelmed personally as well, because there's so many things to do and there's just not enough time. And when I have the time, I don't have the energy. And and when I have the energy, it's just too late. I just can't finish what I need to do, and I need to postpone it to the next day and the next day, and then it moves on. So this is what has happened. And if you do, I believe it happened to even the best of us. No matter how much we want to, say, no, I am very efficient, I'm very good, I can get a lot of things done, I am a super person, but in reality, we get burnout, especially from doing a lot of things, especially when a lot of things started coming all at once. So this has happened. I'm very tired. I don't have the time. I will be happy if I do regular meditation, but why am I still so easily agitated? Some of us, we are meditators, we are practitioners, but how come I'm still so easily angry, frustrated, agitated with people? Not only that, I get so easily distracted with so many things that are happening. Don't you find that? I feel that I'm not doing enough. And this is what is happening. We go through our days, and after a while, we get a lot of things done, hopefully. But along the way, we do many things. Then when we sit down and we look at it, actually, what have I done? Have I really accomplished anything? And then we start to doubt ourselves. Am I really doing what is right? Am I doing what is proper? Am I doing, the essentials? And it can be very, very frustrating and worrying to some as well. So this is reality. And I do believe many of us do experience times like this, when everything just comes all at once and it just overwhelms us. So how can we achieve more? So the normal way in which many people start to do is we start to, compromise, right? We compromise. So we start to compromise either on the quality of the work we do, or we compromise on other aspects. We say, no, my work is too busy, I need to get things done. Then we compromise on the other aspects. We forget to sleep. We forget to rest. We neglect to perhaps spend time with the family. We neglect to sometimes take time for ourselves and just be with ourselves. We don't have so we get overwhelmed with so many things that we start to compromise the other aspects of life. And that's bad news, because one fine day, all these things will come back at us and then one fine day, your children will say, Dad, Mom, you don't love me. I'm doing so many things for you. I go out there, I work so hard, I get, and then so not only that, I go to I get involved with the Buddhist activity, and I get myself busy. All this I do for you. And then your children, it says, you don't love me, Dad. You don't love me, Mom. You don't understand me. You don't know what I'm doing. And then we wonder, where did I go wrong? I've been a good person. I've been a good Buddhist, and yet we are not good enough. So that's because we start to compromise, because we have so many things on our plate. And that's not just for working people. I do believe even people who are not working, also you have a lot of things that are happening. So the illusion of productivity is we get very busy. You see, we feel very productive, and many people feel very productive when we are very busy. The more busy we are, the more we feel that, wow, I'm doing something, I must be very productive. But that's an illusion, because being busy, doing many things, doesn't mean we are productive. And yet, many of us are busy. We are busy, not only busy with work, but also very busybody. And not only busybody, we also get busy with many activities that we are doing. It's all about more, and it's all about getting more. So, and that itself so interesting is the word busy comes in the Chinese. The word for busy is this word called mang. Yeah, and those of you who know Chinese, this word mang comprises, it's a compound of two characters. On this side is called the heart, Singh. Yeah, it is a representation of your Singh. On the other side is actually 死, death. Yeah, so that's why they say 忙到死, busy until we busy until die. I'm not a very good translation, but what it means is when we are very busy, it is actually very straining to the heart, and one fine day we're just gonna die. So, but it's interesting how the compound of the two things are put together to mean word mang. It means actually at the end of it all, we are busy until the day we die. It will, and it affects us. Yeah. So very interesting is that there's the illusion of productivity is that we get very busy. We think we are productive. We feel as if we're productive because we're doing many things. But in actual fact, we are not productive. In actual fact, we are courting death in that in this sense. So the illusion of productivity is being busy. Busy doesn't mean productive. Busy doesn't mean we accomplish much. Busy simply means busy. Yeah, and that's what it is. So it's not helpful if we are busy all the time. We have a lot of things to do, too many things to do, too many things to handle. What to do? I have no choice. I'm the only one who has to handle this. What to do? I have to do this. If I don't do, who else gonna do? So then we get very busy. And when we are very free that time, the other extreme we get into is, I am so tired now. Can I just chill? So you zone out, and then you either watch the TV, or you watch your Facebook, or you watch your YouTube, and you get into the other extreme. We are busy entertaining ourselves to forget about the busyness of the day. So it's a vicious cycle of what we call busyness, and that is what we call samsara. We go into this cycle of never-ending struggles, of never getting out of that. So this is what I want to impress on everyone. We feel that we are productive when actually we are not. So ingredients of achieving more are only there's actually two things that we need in order to get more done. Okay. All right. There are only two things that we need to get more done. Number one is actually we need more time. Clearly, we need more time. Yeah. If we don't have enough time, we can get more done. It's a simple equation. Time is essential for us to get things done. Everything that we do takes time. It needs a period of time for it to be accomplished. It cannot just, I want it, and then immediately I get it the next day. You want to get something done, you need to take time. And the other ingredient besides time is this thing called energy. We with all the time that we have, we also need energy. Without energy, even the time that we have is not going to be spent well. We need both in order to get more done. Now, we all know that time is pretty, I wouldn't say fixed, but time is pretty, if you go by the clock, yeah, we all have the same amount of time every day, no exceptions. Everybody has the same amount of time. Of course, some of us says, I wish I can have more days in a week. Can I have an 8th day? Can I have 25 hours in a day? But we won't get that, because in reality, time is, well, everybody gets the same. But energy is something that is variable, and energy is something that perhaps, depending on how much energy you have, the more energy you have, you can get more done with even the limited time you have. But if you have less energy, then even with the time we spend, it's not going to help us very much, because with you may have a lot of time, but you don't have an energy. That's not going to help you. That's only going to make things worse for you. So I'm going to focus a lot more, not so much on the time, because time is, you can't buy time. You can't buy more time. You can't have more time. But definitely you can do something about energy, isn't it? Energy is something we can do something about, and that means if we have more energy, then definitely we can do more even with the limited time we have, right? But energy is something that is finite. Yeah, it is something that is not infinite. You don't get what we call unlimited charge. Even your handphone also need to get charged at some point in time. That's why some people leave it charging all the time, which is very bad for the phone, right? But we need to charge ourselves even as a person. So, but energy can get drained very fast. In one day of our life, we have the energy, but the energy can get drained. What are your energy drainers? And for some of us, because we all have energy, and some of us want to try to get more energy. How do we get more energy? All right, you do your exercise, you do you get your calories in, but every day we burn calories. Our physical body burns calories. Our mind also burns the mind energy and all that, and yet and we get drained out very easily. One whole day, you will find that at the end of the day, the energy left is only this much. So, but what are your energy drainers? Maybe I'd like to invite you to list down and maybe comment in the comment section. What are your energy drainers? Let's hear from you. Yeah, what typically drains your energy? Yeah, one of my energy drainers, I can tell you upfront, is actually Facebook. I'll be honest with you. I'm not an addict to Facebook and whatever, but then again, I can't help myself these days with the habit of looking at the posts and whatever we are doing there. But definitely it is an energy drainer for me, because the minute I watch something and then I get into it, and before I realize 10 minutes are gone. And then after a while, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I get drained for 30 minutes and I don't have much energy left to do what I need to do. So what are your energy drainers? Can you list them down? So I invite you again, list them down. Those of you who want to comment something, please comment, and let's hear from you later. Yeah. So yeah, come up with your list of energy drainers that you have. Okay. So now, according to the Buddha, the energy drainers are what we call the 5 hindrances, pancha nivarana. The 5 hindrances are those things that take away our, not only the energy, but distract us from our goal towards enlightenment, or towards whatever we want in our life, which is cessation of suffering. But the 5 hindrances are as follows. I'm sure some of us may have heard these before. First one is called kama chanda, sensory desire, a type of wanting that seeks for happiness through the 5 senses. So interesting is what the Buddha mentioned is sensory desire is a hindrance to our progress in spiritual life, but it is also an energy drainer. Yeah. So when we have so kama chanda is the type of thing that we put a lot of pursuit of through the 5 senses. So it is about entertaining ourselves. Yeah. With good sights, good sounds, eating, yeah, feeling a desire to want to eat more, to want to be satisfied with the eating and the touch, and so the 5 senses are the door for sensory desire. So we have we all have this tendency that we have this kama chanda, and that kama chanda is an energy drainer. It hinders us, it blocks us, it prevents us from progressing further in our spiritual practice. The other energy drainer is called vyapada, or ill will. The thoughts related to wanting to reject, hostility, resentment, hatred, bitterness, all these are vyapada. So these two, number 1 and number 2, they are kind of opposite, but they are both quite related in a sense. Sensory desire means the wanting for something to satisfy the senses, to feel comfortable, to feel pleasure. Ill will is wanting to get rid of something that we don't like, that is unpleasant. that is unwelcoming. So we want to get rid of that, and this play of these two consistently will hinder us and drain us from whatever we want to do. You will find this on a day-to-day basis. Those of you who do meditation, these are the first two that comes about. I want to have some pleasure. I want to seek something, and then at the same time, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. And you always have this feeling. I either want to get rid of something, or want something, gain something from it. Sloth and torpor, tina, mida, a heaviness of body, dullness of mind, drag us down. So that there's another hindrance. We call it dullness, heaviness, sleepiness, and all these are dragging us down. Feeling of inertia. Yeah, we call it inertia because it's like I don't feel like doing it. So this will lead us down to procrastination actually. So it's like, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like I want to do more. I feel so tired. I feel so lethargic. I feel so drained out, and this is what happens. So sloth and torpor is another hindrance. Restlessness and remorse, udacha kukpucha, the inability to calm the mind. We either restless because we are worried about something. Yeah, we feel that we are very anxious, and remorse means we feel guilty. Something in the past we have done that we feel guilty about. We can't let go of that. And the last one is called vicikiccha, or doubt, the lack of conviction or trust in what we do. Have you ever been in this situation, those of you who do meditation, where you sit down, you try to meditate, and there will come a point where you start to feel a sense of calm, a sense of, very peacefulness. And then the thought arises is, this can't be true. I don't deserve to be peaceful. I don't think this is the right one. This is not the feeling I should be getting. This is called doubt. So a lot of time we also doubt our progress in our spiritual life. So all these 5 hindrances are the energy drainers. And in day-to-day life as well, these are the ones that actually distract us, hinder us from achieving more. Why? Because they take away the very one thing that we need to get more done. That is the energy. That's why sometimes we say, I do so much, but I don't get a lot done. Then you talk to another person, he says, I don't do a lot, but I get a lot done. Okay, so then wonder why. The reason is because some people are able to recognize the hindrances, these 5 hindrances, and let go of them. But for most of us, for a lot of us, these 5 hindrances keep on latching on, keep on, detract us from what we really want to do in our life. Yeah, so take note of that. These are the energy drainers. These are the 5 hindrances. So sensory desire, kama, chanda, vyapada, ill will, tina, mida, sloth and torpor, the dullness of the mind, the heaviness of the body, the inertia, restlessness, remorse, anxiousness, worry, at the same time guilty and regret, and the last one is of course vicikiccha, or doubt, not trusting that this is the right thing to do. And all these play will make us very, very drained out at the end of the day. So if we want to look at how to get more done, we need to really find out where our energy drainers are. That's why the first question I ask you, what drains your energy? What are the typical energy drainers you have? If we cannot identify them, then even if the thing come about, we still do not recognize them. We still allow those things to continue to distract us from the thing that we want to do. So these are the 5 energy drainers. And if you can identify which are the ones that keep on coming back again and again, then that's the first step towards maybe handling them, dealing with them, working through them, and maybe even emerge a bit out of them so that we don't feel as drained out at the end of the day. Yeah. So now the 5 hindrances, according to this sutta, one of the disciples one of the Brahmin was asking Master Gautama, what is the cause and the reason why sometimes even those hymns, when we say hymns means the in Brahmanical tradition that the Buddha, at that point, the Brahmanical tradition had a lot of the hymns. Hymns are those things that they chant. Yeah. So they part of the practice of the Brahmanism is actually to memorize and chant those hymns. So it says why sometimes even those hymns that have been recited over the long period do not recur to the mind, let alone those that have not been recited. What is the cause and reason why sometimes those hymns that have not been recited over a long period recur to the mind, let alone those that have been recited? And the Buddha said, Brahmin, when one dwells with a mind obsessed by sensual desire, overwhelmed by sensual desire, and one does not understand it as really is the escape from arisen sensual desire, on that occasion one neither knows nor sees as it really is one's own good, or the good of others, or the good of both. Then even those hymns that have been recited over a long period of time do not recur to the mind, let alone those that have not been recited. Again, the Buddha says the mind obsessed with ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness, remorse, doubt. In other words, mind obsessed with the five hindrances are the cause and the reason why sometimes we cannot remember things. Why sometimes even the things that we have been reciting, we have been doing over a period of time, we cannot retain. That's why sometimes some people, when they start, even the children, when they study these days, why they don't retain very much what they study. Yeah? Imagine that it shouldn't be that difficult to retain what you study. But why we cannot retain what we learn is because of the five hindrances. Yeah, we are obsessed, or we allow the sensual desire to take over. We allow ill will to be there. We allow sloth and torpor, restlessness, remorse, doubt. The five hindrances are the ones that hinder us, from actually retaining, remembering. That's why sometimes you can say, "Ayo, I'm so forgetful. I don't remember things." And even though I have done my best to put in more effort, to sometimes do more, put in more, and yet I still cannot retain, I still cannot remember, I still forget things. Yeah, if that's happening to you, then welcome to the club. We are all in the same boat. The Buddha went on to say, Brahmin, when one dwells with a mind that is not obsessed by sensual desire, not overwhelmed by sensual desire, not obsessed by ill will, by sloth and torpor, by restlessness and doubt, then, in other words, if the five hindrances are not there, we are not putting importance on them, and we are able to let go of them, then you look at the bold one, then even those hymns that have not been recited over a long period recur to the mind, let alone those that have been recited. In other words, sometime if your mind is clear, crystal clear, free from the five hindrances, even those things you hear for only one time, you remember for life. That's why sometimes when you go for some Dharma talks, when the mind is not cluttered, you don't have to listen to many talks. You just, that particular one, you remember for life. What about those talks that we go week after week, we have been listening over and over? That's why sometimes some people, they go week after week, they listen to Dharma talks, and yet nothing goes in. Why? Because of the five hindrances. I remember a story that was recounted by our late Chief Venerable K. Sri Dhammananda. And, he has been giving his talks on a weekly basis for the longest time. In fact, 2 or 3 times a week in the Breakfast Temple those days. And there was this particular person, who has been there, and he has been listening to the talks very faithfully. In fact, he has never missed a single talk, and he's always been the one that sits in front, listen to Chief, and the Chief has been speaking, and he has always never missed a single talk. And one fine day, Chief just asked him a simple question. What is the duty of every Buddhist? Very simple one. Okay. What is the purpose of being a Buddhist? And that person, he cannot answer a single thing. Apparently, that person has been just keeping quiet, not wanting to answer, do not know how to answer. And Chief got a little bit annoyed, and he looked at him and says, you have been coming here listening to my talk for 30 years. A simple question like that, you cannot even answer. What have you been learning? So he got told off by the very chief itself in front of everybody there, which is actually it's quite embarrassing for him. But because why? He is there, he is listening, but nothing goes in. Maybe because his mind has been obsessed by either sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness. Nothing goes in. He may be reciting the thing, may be listening to the talk for the long time, but nothing is retained. But if the five hindrances are not there, we are abandoning the five hindrances, then we have a lot more energy for achieving more. You don't have to do a lot, but we can get a lot done. That's important to understand. So don't underestimate this teaching, because the five hindrances are the ones that we need to take note of. Okay? It's not about doing more. It's not about reading more things. It's not about attending more talks. But it's about what do we do when we attend the talk? How is a state of mind when we attend the talk? When we attend the talk, are we really focusing on the Dharma talk, or are we actually very distracted? Because these days, very easily to be distracted. We are watching on our browser, if you have, but at the same time, we also have the other tab on, which is our other links. We also, some people I know, they actually have 3 or maybe Dharma talks happening at the same time. I can't miss any single one of them. So I have the different tabs open, and I'm going to hop in and out of the different talks. Nothing goes in. Let me tell you, if we are going to do that, then you're wasting your time. You might as well don't listen to the talk. But if we are very focused and we say, this is the Dharma talk I want to listen to. Why? Because this is a very important one. I'm going to put aside everything, including what I need to do, whatever I have, such as my laundry, my cooking, my washing, my cleaning, my whatever I need to do. I'm not even my reading. Forget about that. I'm going to focus. So sometimes when I listen to talks, I don't use my device. Even though now to watch online, you need your device. What I do is the device is there, but I make sure that the device is not near me. In fact, from me, so that my fingers don't have a chance to go to the keyboard. Because the minute my fingers are free to go to the keyboard, I'm distracted. So this is important, right? So in spiritual practice, it's not about doing more. It's not about, having more, but it's about what we do during the time we're actually learning. And that's important to understand. This very, very looks like common sense, but in reality, how many of us are doing what is right? Right? Now, this is my challenge to you. If you feel that you have been very distracted for long, then it's time for you to maybe find time to really relook at how you are organizing yourself. So the other energy burden is that we have is called the past and the future. Both of these are burdening us. All right, they will continue to burden us until we say, let's forget about it. So how can we achieve more? Now, this is what I said. The key to achieving more is not in how much we do, but in how much we put into what we do. The key to learning is not how much we learn, but how much we put into what we learn. And that's something very important to understand, right? Now, this story, I'm gonna keep this here, but I'm just gonna keep this quote here. I'm sure this is a very famous story, but I'm gonna tell you again anyway. There were 2 woodcutters. 2 of them were assigned to cut wood, and after cutting the wood, they're supposed to cut it into logs, right? The logs are supposed to be used for firewood. So one of the woodcutter was a very productive person. He was very hardworking. He chopped the wood. He has never stopped. And what he did was, he was very, very diligent. One full day, he just continued to chop and chop and chop, and he only stopped briefly just to maybe drink some water, take some food, and then he continues. Now, the other woodcutter, he did it like this. He would chop wood for about 10 minutes, and then he would go off and go somewhere. He would disappear. And then after that, he would come back and he would chop some more. And then 10 minutes later, he would disappear. And then he would come back and he would chop some more. Now, at the end of the day, when you look at the number of wood they managed to cut, the first one who was very hardworking managed to cut X number, but the one that lepak lah they call, somehow he got about 10% more wood. And then what is happening? Why is it so? Is he cheating? So apparently not, because the first woodcutter asked the second one, "What did you do? How come you got more?" And the woodcutter say, "Well, I work hard, but I know that during the 10 minutes I need to go somewhere. It's not just to rest, but that 10 minutes he used to actually sharpen his axe. To sharpen his axe. In Stephen Covey's language, it's called sharpening the saw. And after sharpening it, actually for every swing, he actually get more inches in. That's why he actually needed to use less energy, but he managed to cut more. Whereas the first one, probably the axe was blunt already, and yet he still continued to whack and whack and whack and whack. So same thing in our life. Actually, we also like the woodcutters. We also like the axe. We will, the more we do, our instrument, our energy will become very blunt. We will not have much left at the end of the day. We need to find way to sharpen the axe. And that means we need to take time for ourselves. We need to take time to develop and to really grow in one or two areas. There's also some people I know in corporate life as well. They have been working, let's say, for the last 20 years in the company. And I look at them and it says, you've been here for 20 years. What are you doing now? Oh, I've been doing the same thing. And it says, okay, but that's all right, But one fine day, changes will come. Okay, of course, these days we can see very clearly the COVID has hit. All right, and we are forced to look at new ways of doing things. Some people have been doing the same routine for the longest time. Over the years, they forget to develop themselves. Maybe the first 5 to 10 years of your working life, you were working very hard, you will learn a lot. But after we achieve a certain status, a certain level of seniority, we get very comfortable in certain positions. And we get comfortable with life as well. We do have what we need. We have a house, we have a car, we have money. And there's where we stop learning. We stop growing. Ask you to go for training, no time, ask you to listen to more, what do you call that? This the Dharma talk by Ajahn. I really have no time. They say go for retreat also. No, I really don't have the time. And by the time we say no time, that time that we should be taking to develop ourselves, maybe the next 10 years, we have either plateau or we have declined. So take note of that. When we do that, that means when things change, when things start to be different than what we are used to, we're not going to get very far. So we need to be very, very clear about that. Yeah. So sharpen the axe before we can get more done. And according to the Buddha, this one I found in the Dhammapada verse 12, having known the essential as essential and the inessential as inessential, they realize the essential, for right thoughts are their pasture. This is very, very important because in life, we need to know what are essential. What are the important things? Even in Dharma practice, we must know what are the essentials. We must know what are the really, really key ones that we must focus on and what are the not so key ones that perhaps we don't have to do so much. That is important. So sometimes we need to take stock. What's the purpose of me going for the Dharma talk? That's one. What's the purpose of me organizing this retreat? We must know, where does this lead to? If we don't have an idea where it leads us to, then we are not focusing on the essentials. So Dharma practice is about focusing on the essentials. I do know that if in my life, I sometimes also get sidetracked. There are too many things to do, and then I get burnt. I get into this situation where every hour I can find, every minute I can find, I just want to get all my work done. But then again, My children may be in front of me. My wife is in front of me. And one fine day, they'll just comment and says, you're not here, despite you are physically here, but you're not here. Why? Because what is essential at that point in time is to be focused on the person right next to you. And yet sometimes we forget. So when we get into this situation is where we may not be focusing on the right things. So my message is we need to get back to essential. So sometimes after a long period of time when I was very busy, after a while I start to ask myself, okay, hang on, before I do the next thing, I'm going to take stock. I'm going to put down whatever I'm doing first, and I'm going to get myself organized. That's a very important thing to do. If we don't get ourselves organized, we are very disorganized. And then at the end of the day, not only do we get less done, but we're gonna miss things out. We're gonna forget things. Just the other day, my wife was reminding me, "Have you paid this insurance premium?" I said, "Oh my goodness, that was something I intended to do last 3 weeks." And wow, just like that, I forgot about it. That's because I had too many things on my plate. So we need to focus on the essentials. Otherwise, we will get very disorganized. And even the Buddha says here, of course, the story of the Singh Sapa leaves. The Blessed One living in Kosambi in a wood of Singh Sapa trees. He picked up a few leaves in his hand and he asked his bhikkhus, how do you conceive these bhikkhus? What is more, the few leaves that I picked up in my hand or those on the trees? The leaves of the Blessed One had picked up in the hand are few, those in the trees are far more. So too the things I have known by direct knowledge are more. Things that I have told you are only few. Why haven't I not told you them? Because they bring no benefit, no advancement in the holy life, and because they do not lead to dispassion, to fading, to ceasing, to stilling, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. The Buddha was very clear when he said, be focused. Don't allow yourself to get distracted with too many things that are not essential to Dharma practice. So when we say, if we want to achieve more, it's not about doing more, but it is about doing what are essential. That few leaves you have in your hand, those are the few that will actually get the most benefit from it. These are the few very important things that you need to put in first. The rest of the leaves in the trees, in the forest, if you neglect them, so what? They're not important. Just the other day, I had maybe drinks or hanging out with two of my buddies and friends from school. I enjoy their company. Actually, I love to be with them. The only problem is that something with them, the things they like to talk about is only that few things. I want to, I talk about the, most of the time talking about work, but also talking about which sometimes what is the latest entertainment about politics and things like that. And yes, I enjoy that company, but I have to ask myself what is really important. If I have something very important to do, sometimes I have to say no to that invitation, no matter how much I enjoy their company. And sometimes I can ask myself, is that how much time do I want to spend with them? Yeah. So I have other things I need to spend time on, such as upgrading myself, reading more, and maybe spending more time to prepare Dharma talks like this, for example. So, even Winnie the Pooh say, people say doing nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Very, very interesting what the Winnie the Pooh said. You see, what he means is that it's not to say you do nothing. I mean, yes, he do nothing. But doing nothing doesn't mean you're not productive. Yeah, doing nothing simply means you're doing what is essential. Think about it. And another sutta that I want to bring to your mind is the Bhadde Karata Sutta. Don't run to the past. Don't hope for the future. What's past is left behind. The future has not arrived. And phenomena in the present are clearly seen in every case. Knowing this, foster it, unfaltering, unshakable. Today's the day that keenly work. Who knows tomorrow may bring death. Now, this is a very important sutta to talk about At the end of the day, when you want to get more done, don't go to the past, don't go to the future, don't go to what's left behind, don't keep on obsessing about what's not yet there. We need to be very clear that only in the present, only right here, right now, is what we can get the most. And that is the key to achieving more. Okay? So, and this analogy of the donkey and the carrot told by Ajahn Brahm, we know the carrot and the donkey. If you hang a carrot in front of the donkey, the donkey wants the carrot, the donkey will keep moving forward. And the carrot will just not come any nearer. And the more he runs, the more he pursues, the more he goes for it, the more he wants it. And then not only that, he runs faster and he keeps on wanting more and more. The carrot will never ever reach him. Okay? It's only when, and that's the trick here, you run already, it's only when he stops, the carrot, first thing first, when you stop, the carrot will swing forward, go further away. It seems like it's so unreachable, so far. But then again, inertia, momentum, it comes back. All you need to do is to wait for it. The carrot will come and you can manage to get it. If only the donkey were that smart, the carrot would have been received because you stop. And that's important. The minute we stop, we take stock, we relook, you'll be surprised how many things become clearer. And then we realize, actually, all the things this one I do, not so important. That's what I do, very important, but I have not been doing it. Now I start to look at what is important. That's like the carrot coming back. We start to see the fruits of ourselves when we stop. We are more still, we are more calm, we are more collected, and we are more focused. That's what it means here. So, to end the sharing, I'd like to just point out that there are two important circles here. One is called the clock, and one is called the compass. The clock is what we normally follow. There is a certain time we wake up, a certain time we go to work, a certain time we go and take our lunch. By the time we finish that, we do this, and then we come back where we have a time, we have our activities to get this done, the schedule and all that. Along the way, we get distracted, we get pulled away. We don't have we don't have control over our schedule and our plans. Then you find that we are not able to follow the clock anymore. The schedule is disrupted. My plan is not working. So what we need to do, we compensate it by sacrificing something, losing sleep, whatever it is. So that's called, when we follow the clock, this is what will happen. When we use our scheduling, what is already happening is we start to prioritize crisis. Now, there is an alternative to this, and that the other circle here is called the compass. The compass represents our vision, values, principles, mission, direction. Those things that are important in our life. They look the same shape, but the compass points not to time. The compass points to direction. And I think as Buddhists, even in our spiritual practice, we must be clear. Are we very obsessed with following the schedule, doing activities, getting a lot of things, organized, attending that many Dharma talks and Sutta classes, going for this, and all our focus is about our direction, our vision, our mission. And that focus on direction is a very, very important thing in our spiritual practice. We must be clear where we are heading. And I think the Buddha has made it very clear to us. The direction is towards the cessation of dukkha. It means whatever we do, whether we are doing Dharma study, we are attending Dharma talk, whether we are doing meditation, whether we are whatever mode of practice that we are in, keeping the 5 precepts, the Noble Eightfold Path provides us that roadmap. It starts with right view, and that right view is called your compass. So I would like to invite all of you here, all of us here, in this new year, let's be clear. When we make our new resolution, let's not make a new year resolution, oh, from now on, I'm going to do more of this, do more of that. That's not very essential if you ask me as far as New Year resolutions are concerned. New Year resolution should be only about one or two things. And one of the key things is to resolve to remember our direction. Because along the way, we must know that we will get sidetracked. But if we are clear about the direction, then we are very focused. We know exactly where we are heading, what we are doing, why is this important. At the end of the day, life goes on now. We get into our busyness, we get into our life, we get into our activities, we do many things, but we must be clear at the end of the day, where are we going? If we are clear about that, all these things that we do they point back to our direction? If they are not, we need to relook. Do we still need to do them? Or if we do it, can we do it differently so that it will lead back to the direction I want? And that direction is, again, where is it? What is it? The Four Noble Truths, the cessation of dukkha, the cessation of suffering, the removal of the things that are hindering us from our goal. So this is my invitation to everyone. How can we do less and achieve more? Do less and achieve more is not difficult. It simply means direction. Okay, so that's my sharing. I hope I've given a good perspective here, and I would like to close my sharing for now. Yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu. Well, that was a very interesting talk. There's so much to pick up today. Well, I think it's important. Let's hand over to Brother Jim to handle all the various questions.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Brother Jim.
Hey, Chim, you're muted. I think you can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, Namo Buddhaya, and good morning, brothers and sisters in Dharma, and sadhu to Brother Niwan for the very interesting, very enlightening, and very mentally stimulating talk this morning. Very inspiring on doing less to achieve more, on how to accomplish more in our life when with the 24 hours that all of us equally have. So that we can have more quality time with our friends, our family, and so on and so forth. Didi Niwan, your talk actually reminded me many years ago. Also, I have a good friend who was very successful in his career, in his business. He set up quite a big factory around in Selangor. Got a good wife and two beautiful daughters, and growing up, and she has spending a lot of his time focusing on his business. Not much time for the wife and the two daughters. Until the wife got so frustrated, the wife went ahead to do her PhD. And both of the family, both of the father and mother did not have much time for the two daughters who were growing up. The father was so busy with his business. Most of the time after midnight only reach home, but he was very proud to tell us that I spend a lot of time with my two daughters. Every day I spend at least 1 to 2 hours with them over the phone. Over the phone.
But he didn't forget them.
Every day he would spend 1 to 2 hours to talk to the daughters over the phone. So until one day the eldest daughter reached Form 5, and he organized and threw a big party at a hotel, at a beautiful hotel for the daughters. He was so proud, so happy that he has done something for the daughters. But at the end of the day, the daughter was not happy. So the father said, why are you not happy? I did all this for you. I spent a couple of thousands of ringgit just to have a big party for you. And the daughter was looking at the father. He said, Pa, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I just want to have more time with you.
Yeah.
So that actually opened up his mind, and eventually he decided to give up. I mean, he sold his business and then migrated to, I think, New Zealand, Australia with the wife,
Yeah.
2 children. I hope they have a better life over there. But your talk is very actually help us. I mean,
She was
give us a lot of good inspiration.
she was his bodhisattva lah. She reminded him of the essentials in life.
Yeah, that's right. So your talk actually gives us a good, I mean, a good opportunity for us to reflect on what we should focus on in our life. You know? Anyway, now we proceed to the Q&A. Brothers and sisters in Dharma, if you have any questions for Brother Niwan, you may pose your questions. This first question is from KCPA, WH Chan. Does our pure, strong mind can multiply and increase our energy and effort?
Oh, well, wow. I don't really know how to answer that. I'm no expert in the mind. But can multiply, increase the energy and effort. Strong mind, okay.
I guess it's talking about maybe through meditation we can have eventually have a more energetic mind to increase our energy.
Perhaps. I think the other day, the other time when I was with Bante Yasma Arya Dhammika back in Taiping in Sasanaraka, he did mention that if you want to have a good meditation, or if you want to have a good experience in meditation, the prerequisite is really to actually keep the virtues, and that means keeping the 5 precepts. That means our conduct. So it starts from conduct, and when you have a conduct that is well and right, the mind will generally be a little bit more at ease, be more pure, and it will feel like as if the mind is stronger. But I don't think we can have the mind strong by putting in a lot more willpower alone. Willpower sometimes strain the mind. The best way to have more, to have a little bit more energy in the mind is really to let go of the things that are distracting us. That's the first thing, because sometimes a lot of willpower by thinking that, just like your friend Didi Chim, he thinks that he can do more, he spend more time, he puts in more of that. But actually, sometimes it's all about letting go. So the more you let go, the more less clutter we have in the mind, then definitely the energy will arise. It's when the mind is very cluttered that we find we are very drained. So perhaps my answer to that is to increase our energy, to have more, energy in what we do. The first thing is to decrease our clutter. The clutter of the mind, the clutter of that. Then the 5 hindrances come into the play. The 5 hindrances are the ones that actually drain us. So when we find our mind has less energy, or we have less energy, it's because we are very much, the hindrances are there all the while, and they just continue to zap away the kind of energy we have. So we need to let go of that first. And then when we have a little bit clearer and more pure, perhaps we can put in more effort into maybe even strengthening the mind. But if the hindrances are there and we are not able to let go, and we still have too many distractions, so many things, I don't think there's a good chance of that. That's just my point of view. Yeah. Simplify lah. The more we simplify, the better.
Yeah. A very good answer to that very good question. We go for the next question. Father Niwan, other than meditation to relieve ourselves from the mental hindrances that drain our energy, is there any other way to help us retain or strengthen our mental energy? Maybe by taking good food, supplement, exercise, chanting, or any other thing?
I believe those things will definitely help. Better nutrition, supplements, doing exercise. I mean, those things do help in strengthen ourselves. In fact, if you ask me, a good life should be balanced. We should have a good physical form, reasonably healthy. We should not be always falling sick and things like that. So definitely having supplements and food and exercise will be very, very essential as well. Personally, I find that is also very critical, even for me. I better have to get into the habit of doing that more. Now, other than meditation, I think before we talk about whether it is meditation or not, I think the Buddha is very clear when he say that it is about cultivation of our mind. When you say cultivation of mind, it's not just about meditation. Meditation is a lot more the formal sit down and doing meditation. The cultivation of mind starts from us having the right view, the way we see things, the way we look at things. And those hindrances come about because sometimes the way we look at things, we are not seeing the danger of the five hindrances. We allow the five hindrances to somehow take over us. And having that right view is the thing to start with. So if you ask me, other than meditation, it is about every day we must do what is the right thing. That is to take stock of the hindrances. And if we have the time and if we think it's necessary, maybe do a little bit of meditation practice. That will definitely help. But that meditation practice alone is not going to help if we are still obsessed with the five hindrances. So we must think of cultivation as a whole. It's not just about, oh, I need to have a better, calmer mind, so I better do more meditation. That's not what the Buddha meant. The Buddha meant cultivation means whole life cultivation. Whole life cultivation starts from sila, the conduct, the virtues. Then starts with right view, letting go, looking at what is the right thing to do, and then we go into what we call the meditation. It happens. So, Reverend Sujato, Ajahn Sujato, did say this once. He says, many people think that I want to do meditation so that I can have a better life. But that's not the right thing to do, because that's doing meditation alone doesn't solve all your problems. What you need to really do, according to the Noble Eightfold Path, and the Noble Eightfold Path is a practice to get life right. It's about getting life right. So when we get life right, part of getting life right includes keeping your right speech, right action, right livelihood, right intentions, and then right meditation, right samadhi. By doing all those, meditation happens. So get life right. So if we want to strengthen our mental energy, get life right. That's what I can say. Balance, good food, nutrition, those are essential. But also when it comes to life itself, having a good conduct, a good purpose, a good way of life, then part of it is actually to do meditation. Yeah, that's my answer. So
Yeah, excellent answer. Okay, we go for the next question. I think there are quite a number of questions, brother, for the information.
Let's go through very quickly. Yeah.
Okay. How can we identify what is essential and what is inessential when learning the Dharma?
Okay, that is a very simple one. The essential in learning Dharma is about whether the Dharma that we learn leads us to cessation of suffering. That's a very, very important question to answer. That's all. Does what I do lead towards the cessation of dukkha? Of course, it's a very broad statement, but then that's true. Essential in the Dhamma is not about which sutta to read, which one. It's about, and even actually in the Dhamma practice, we need to ask ourselves every day this question: in whatever I do, am I leading closer to cessation of suffering? Am I feeling maybe more at ease with myself, or am I feeling more conceited, more angry, more frustrated? So that's a good measure. So when you want to identify whether what is essential or not essential, go back to the very basic thing. In what I do, whether if I go and learn this particular thing, this particular learning, does it lead me to maybe more conceit, more anger, more frustration, more jealousy, more envy, or does it lead to less of that? That is how I would identify what is essential and what is inessential. I know it's not easy to answer this, but that's true.
Yeah, I really agree with you, Didiniwan. Yeah, what is essential is what leads us to the cessation of our dukkha.
Yeah.
I think it's very spot on. And also what you answer in the earlier question, was also very spot on, that cultivation of the mind start with right view. I think with that understanding, it simplifies a lot on what we should focus on. Yeah. Good. I think we go for next question.
Sure.
From A.L. Chan.
Okay.
For certain peace, business, we spend a lot of time trying to get, but it seems to hit the brick wall most of the time. And it looks like doing more, but nothing achieved. Should we just give up?
Yeah, I can relate to this, L. I totally feel you. I've been in a situation before, and I'm in the business of consulting, and part of my job is, in fact, 80% of my time is actually spent to go and get business, go and look for clients, go and spend time with them and things like that. So one time, my mentor Didi Huat Chai was telling me, I know you do a lot of, I know you have a lot of lunch, a lot of appointment. Okay, I know you are going out there networking with this one. The big question he asked me, how many are entered to business? So I look at it and say, wow, actually I've spent a lot of time going out to meet them and then talk about this and then go there and talk about this. Every other thing also I went there, and then at the end, how many of them turn to business? So actually, when we look at networking, sometimes when we do business like that, we go out there, we go and network here, do this, and sometimes trying to get it, and then we hit the brick wall. Why? Because nothing seems to work. We go to another brick wall, and nothing seems to work. That's because we are doing this method called spray and pray method. We spray the thing everywhere, and we pray and hope something will happen. That's most people tend to do that, lah. So I was doing that, and nothing happens. In fact, the business never come. So we are doing a lot, but nothing achieved. So should we give up? No, we shouldn't give up. We should do what is right. So don't cast the net wide and assume that everything will come. That's not networking. That's the net that doesn't work. So the real networking is when we really go to the people that we feel has a good chance of giving us some business line. So don't go and spend all the time with them and say at the end of it, and then suddenly you hit the brick wall. What do we do? Still want to pursue? Still want to? They say, hit it and then keep on hitting it. No need lah. Just go to the next one and do what is. Eventually, find the right people that will give you the business. So that's what I feel. I think we should do. Don't be discouraged. I think we can still have a good chance. Yeah, as long as we don't do too many things. Don't network with everybody. No point one. Only those that you feel has a lot more value. That's not to say you don't network with those people who got lesser value. That's not my point. The point is, where do we spend the time? So networking doesn't mean meeting a lot of people. Networking means who are the essential ones. Who are the ones that has a lot more value to you and to the person. It's a win-win. Yeah. Okay, next. That's from a business standpoint.
Yeah, thank you, Didi Niwan. Looks like there's so much things that we can learn from you. Okay, we go for the next question. From Eileen Tan, KCBA. How do we stop bad energy that is unwholesome or negative-minded people coming to us that drain our energy?
Yeah, there are people who are called energy drainers. I call them either vacuum cleaners or vampires. They suck away your blood. They suck away your time, and the more time you spend with them, the less energy you have. In fact, sometimes you feel so drained after talking to them, you just don't feel and yet, ironically, we give so much of our time to them. So these are negative people, unwholesome people, negative-minded people. We do have them. In the Sigalovada Sutta, the Buddha mentioned the 4 kinds of people that are to avoid. The 4 kinds of fake friends that they will have a lot of energy. They are I can't remember now, but either the people who take but never give, talk but never do. Okay. And then they spend but never, they will take you away. So all these people, they are the energy drainers. So the only good answer to have to Eileen is avoid them. Just avoid them. In fact, sometimes we may even have to say, you are my good friend. I like you. You have my buddy from very young, but you know what? I'm not going to spend that much time with you. That's anyway. Why do I need to spend that kind of time with you? So, yes, avoid them. If possible, don't spend those time, keep them at a distance. There's an analogy used by Dan Locke that he used and says, one time he says his fish was sick in the aquarium, and he went and asked the person who run the aquarium, how do I get my fish better? Do I give the fish medicine? And then the one who runs the aquarium shop, he told him, look, you want to fix your fish, don't give your fish medicine. Fix your water in the aquarium. So in other words, you can't do anything about the fish, but you can do something about the water. Once you fix the water, once you fix the environment around the fish will start to get better. So same thing. If we don't fix our environment, the kind of people we associate with, the kind of people that come into our life, we will not be able to get anywhere very, very easily. We're just like the fish who is in the sick water. So yeah, my advice, Eileen, spend less time with them, minimize, reduce contact, and if possible, even avoid them, some of them. You don't need them in your life. Okay? Not that you're unkind. You can still retain them as good buddies and friends, but you can choose to spend that little bit of time. Maybe once a year, have Chinese New Year, yam sing with them, that's about it. But the other time, no need. If they are very negative, for that matter, just avoid them.
Yeah.
That's my advice. Don't allow them to come into your life. Yeah.
I think it's
not
a good advice.
Buddha's advice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good advice for Eileen. After all, the Buddha also said dissociate with.
Oh yes, disassociate with
the wise. Yeah, I think due to time constraint, we just have one more question, a last question.
Sure.
Yeah, from Jade. Matt, thanks for your sharing and astute answers. Didi, cool. I understand about decluttering the mind. Mary Kondo start. Is it enough as a Buddhist if you focus on practicing the 5 precepts and 8-fold path every day?
This one, I'll just have one answer. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just focus on that. In fact, everything we do, go back to the Noble Eightfold Path. We can't go wrong. We can't go wrong. So whatever we do, you can do many things, but as long as it's following the Noble Eightfold Way, I think we are going back to the essentials. Just declutter. Good one, Jade. I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah. And then maybe you can pick one or two more if you have the time. Otherwise, they're quite similar. So I saw one. Is it when have positive mind? W.H. Chan, is it?
Yeah, W.H. Chan was asking when we have positive mind and positive perception in everyday life, can it increase our energy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Positive-minded people have a lot of energy. Negative-minded people have less energy. Not only less energy, they suck away your energy to make them have more energy. Let me tell you this kind of thing. So we need to avoid the negative-minded, go for the more positive-minded, and have a more positive mind. That will give us more energy. I know there are one or two people that I know they are very negative, and every time I speak with them, they give me a sense that they don't want to see things in a different light, and they are very negative people. So, but stay with positive people, go with positive people, spend more time with positive people in life. If we can have more of that, that is called associating with the wise. And when we have, definitely we increase our energy, increase our our self productivity and whatever not. That's how you do less and achieve more. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sadhu. Once again, thank you so much, Padre Niwan, for giving us another very interesting session. A very interesting, very enlightening and inspiring Dharma talk, which is so mentally stimulating. Hopefully can lead to a paradigm shift in our mind as to focus on our priorities that are essential, so that we can live a happier and more fulfilling life. Thank you so much, Didi Niwan, and sadhu.
Thank you very much.
Sadhu to our speaker, Didi Kunivan. As one of the comments I just received is, wow, there was excellent sharing. Wow, I definitely agree with that. And remember, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, learning is reflection. What does it mean to us after this talk? And what can we do about it? Well, then another thing is regarding this term energy drainers. As one of the participants says, regarding the five hindrances, wow, is one relating to energy and productivity. You link the five hindrances to the energy and productivity. Well, it is great. I know you have introduced us to the clock and the compass. The clock represents our commitment, appointments, schedules, and the compass represents our vision, values, principles, and so on. And what we feel is most important and how we could lead our lives. Very good. Please continue to thank our speaker and gratitude to those who have participated and gratitude to those who continue to join us on every Sunday from the beginning, puja service, the Dharma talk, and then finally to the sharing of the merits. Gratitude to all who had prepared for this session, the team behind us. And thank you to the speaker, especially. Thank you to everyone who have contributed in one way or another. And gratitude to those, the other societies who are listening, to the Clang and Coast for participating, and to those devotees who are watching from the north to the south. Thank you. Um, Gratitude to the friends who have been giving some encouraging words to all of us. And with the participation of the Buddha Puja, listening to the chanting and joining us in the Dharma talk and discussion, let's have our sharing of the merits. With the merits accrued, let us dedicate the merits to all our departed relatives, families, and friends, and all beings. May they rejoice through the merits. We should dedicate merits to the late Mrs. Wang. May she has a good rebirth. May she be blessed by the triple gem. May she continue follow the path as taught by the Buddha till Nibbana. Sharing of merits. Imang no punya bagang mata pitunancha acharya nancha sabba satanancha sabba mitanancha sabba nyatatinancha sabba betanancha sabba devatanancha bhajema. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema sabbe sata sukita hontu. Idang menya dinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya dinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya dinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya. Idang me punyang asavakaya vahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibbanasa pacayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Before we end, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang Bujemi, Dhammang Bujemi, Sanghang Bujemi. Again, thank you to those who have participated since the beginning of the session and until to the dedication of merits. Again, express our gratitude to the speaker, Didi Kuniwan, who have prepared very well and also the online team. And we have come to the end of this 77 online Sunday Buddha Puja service. Do visit us again next Sunday morning. That's 23rd of January. May you and family be safe, well, and happy, and be peaceful always. During this COVID-19 pandemic, remember, stay safe and to stay cautious. Follow the SOP. Suki Hontu, and goodbye. Have a great day. Sabe, Sata, Sukita Hontu.
Bahong sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasene marang Dana di Dhamma